Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a palette bingo, and I saw this on the Alex channel. I saw also Lauren May Beauty do this, so I thought that this would be really fun to kind of show you a new palette that I've gotten. I definitely do want to stray away from hauls and that kind of stuff, so I am going to be focusing a little bit more on these like using what you have in your collection kind of things. So this is the first one, and I am going to be using the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. This palette is hugely popular and I only just recently got it literally today, so I'm excited to give it a go and see what kind of looks we come up with. When we are doing palette bingo, we use a random number generator and we basically put all of the numbers of the eyeshadows in. So starting here we would have 1, and down here we would have number 18. It'll give us 4 numbers, 5 numbers, whatever number you choose. I think today I'm probably going to go with 4, but we can decide as we go along, and then from that we can create a makeup look. First number that we got is 10. So our first color is Amethyst. I've never used this palette before. I've only literally just touched it right this second. Ooh, that Amethyst color looks like it's maybe lacking a little bit of pigment, but that is our first color. So the next number that we got is the number 9, which is the color right beside Amethyst. So this is our second color here. Ooh, this shadow looks really nice. I think this one is a duochrome and it is applying really nicely, as I can see it right this second. That looks really cool. The next number that we have is number 3, which gives us a really nice transition color. This color here is our third color, Eden. So this one is like a warm orangey transition color. Oh, and that looks like it has a really good amount of pigment. So far this is looking like it's going to be a really cool look. The last number that we have here is number 13. So that is 12, 13, Cashmere down here. I think we got relatively fantastic colors, and I'm excited to see what kind of comes out of this. This is the color palette that we're working with here. You can see we've got some nice purples. They also look a little bit cool tone. That Cashmere and the Twilight shade look like they would be really nice together. The only one that's throwing me off a little bit is that Eden shade, but I guess we'll figure that one out. So I'm gonna first go in with that shade Desert Sand and set all over the lid. This is going to create the base for all of the shadows that we put on top of it. This is not one of the colors that we just chose through the random number generator. This is an extra one that I'm using. So this one does also have a touch of warmth to it. The next color that we're going to be using is that Eden shade. So I'm going to start putting that into the crease on the outer portion and the inner portion. I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do at this stage, but I do think that we can start kind of blowing out this Eden shade. It will be nice to have the other colors a little bit more concentrated. After that one, I'm going to be going into that shade Amethyst. This is just a little packer brush, and I'm just going to start laying down that shadow, and then I can start to blend it out. So the shade Amethyst here is looking like it's blending out really nicely. I do wish that it was just a touch more pigmented though. It does seem like I'm having to build it up, and so far this is like the least pigmented shadow that we've used out of the palette. So it is just taking a little bit more building up, but it is really, really soft and easy to blend, which is nice. So that one was really, really nice to blend out, but like I said, it didn't quite have enough pigment for me, so I am going to be going into my Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions mini palette here, and I'm going to be taking probably this color down here. I'm not 100% certain of the names in this one, maybe a little bit of this. I'm probably going to go in between these two dark shades just to really deepen up the outer third of my eye. See, that's kind of more of the color intensity that I was looking for, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to be going into that color Twilight, and I'm going to be popping that onto the center of my eye. So this is coming out really creamy, but I am going to be spraying it with a little bit of my Fix Plus just to give it a little bit more stickability on the eye. So that is how my makeup's looking so far. I'm going to clean this up, do my face, and I will be right back. Alright, so now I have the rest of my face done, and I'm going to be finishing off with the lips. If you want to know what's on my face, and everything else is what I am using to get through my project pan, and so I will link that video as well if you wanted to know. Lily? So now we're going to be going ahead and doing the lips, and then I will finish off the eyes with you on here as well. So for the lips, I decided to go with Kylie Maliboo. I think that it's going to be a really nice, cool, neutral kind of toned nude colour, so it won't look too warm in comparison to this eye look. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention as well is that my highlight is the Alchemist palette from Kat Von D. This is brand new to my collection as well. I actually sold the Moonchild kit in order to get the Alchemist kit, and I'm really happy that I did it. I was noticing while I was waiting for my camera to like charge up and for me to finish the rest of my face, and I was getting the worst sweaty moustache, and I kept wiping it off because I'm wearing the Fenty Beauty Foundation, and so it was doing a pretty good job of holding up against my sweat. Now that I'm finished with the lips, I'm going to be going back to that Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to be starting off with that colour Eden, and then I'm going to be going in with that colour Amber and a little bit of that colour Blazing. I'm going to be going in with a little bit of this lip liner called Ginger from Kylie Cosmetics, and I'm going to be putting that in the waterline and a little bit under the lash line. I do feel like I just need a little bit more orange, and then with my small little brush from, this is like from an Urban Decay palette, I'm going to be going into the colour Celestial and popping that right underneath there. Actually, to top that off, I'm going to be going in with the shade Blood Moon, which I think actually will be a little bit more orange. There we go. And that's looking really cool, and I'm going to be taking that colour Amethyst again and just trying to kind of join up those outer corners together. Also would like to mention that eyeliners are definitely, lip liners are definitely not safe for the eye area, but I like to live a little bit dangerously. No, I would never do it on a client, but on myself I don't really mind. And now that that is all done, I have got quite a bit of fallout under my eyes. So I'm going to be taking my Shade and Light palette again. I'm going to be taking a little bit more of that Kat Von D palette and putting it onto the inner corner. I definitely want to do some more of these. I saw Elle and Lauren May do a collab using the Mi Vida Loca palette, and I thought that that would be really fun, and I saw some cool tips in the comments as well about how to make it even more challenging. So that would be really cool, because I definitely feel like I don't have mascara on. Okay, now I'm actually properly done. This is definitely one of my favourite makeup looks that I've done in a super long time. I think that the eyeshadows, if I'm talking about the palette in particular, let me grab it. Let me grab her. I think that the shadows blended out really, really nicely. They didn't seem too pigmented, well, some of them, especially Amethyst. The other ones seem to have a really like average amount of pigmentation. Some of them were super duper pigmented and some of them were average. It's kind of like they were a little bit inconsistent. What was consistent though was how nice they were to blend. The only thing that caused me effort was the building up of colour that I had to do with the Amethyst shade. Another slight issue would be the amount of fallout that I had all over my face, even from just doing my lower lash line. That was pretty significant, and also having to use a second palette in order to get the depth. But I really love the colours. I think they're really cool. Those shimmery shades are incredible. All in all, I'm really happy with this palette. I think that it's got a really beautiful colour story. It seems really well thought out, and it seems like something that I can definitely get a lot of use out of. What I noticed with other warm palettes such as the Modern Renaissance was that they would have like 2 or 3, oh, that one actually had like maybe 3 or 4 pops of colour. The rest were all really boring neutrals, and they actually didn't really have colours to set the lid with. This one does. But I just kind of felt like that one was a little bit lackluster. I'm definitely way more excited about this palette with those beautiful purples. You can kind of see though, with only one use, that it does look like I've kind of beat up this palette a little bit. There are definitely some significant chunks out of the shimmer shades. But all in all, I'm really happy with how this makeup turned out, and I really want to keep doing these videos because I think it's so much fun to be able to play with palettes, especially new palettes, because I am kind of trying to deviate away from hauls and promoting this hyper consumerism that I feel in my soul and I need to have rehab on. So that is going to be a video for another day, but I will see you in my next one. Bye!